Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Lad on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're going to learn about the structures in C++. So all of you have learned about the arrays. An array is a collection of similar elements, which means the elements or the values stored in an array must be of same type. If we had an integer array, we were only able to store the integer values in that, and if we had a character array, we were only able to store the character values in that. But in programming, sometimes we need to group the different type of data under one name, and we need to access that data under one name. To do that in C++, we're going to use something called structures. So this structure is nothing but the collection of different variables of different types. For example, let's say you're going to write a program to manage the student information. At that time, you need to store the different information. For example, you need to store the roll number, you need to store the sex of the student, you need to store the marks, etc. So this marks, sex, roll number will come under different data types. And if you can group that variables under one name, then it's going to be very easy to write the program. So here, for the demonstration purpose in our tutorial, we're going to write a program to manage the student information. Okay, first we're going to define the structure. To define a structure in your program, we need to use the keyword struct. So when we use this struct keyword, the C++ will come to know that, okay, we are talking about the structures. Then the name of the structure, or the name under which you want to combine different variables or different elements. So here, since we are storing the information of the student, I'm going to call it as student, then a pair of curly braces, and in the end of that curly braces, don't forget to add a semicolon. Alright, and now in between these curly braces, whatever we write or whatever the variables we declare will be considered as the members of the structures. All that members are available under this one name student. For example, let's say in this struct student, I want to store the roll number of the student. So it's going to be of int, and let me call it as roll number. So declaring or defining a member of a structure is similar to the way we declare the variables, which are nothing but the variables. And next, let's say we want to store the sex of the student, and it's going to be of type char sex. And this is it for the demonstration purpose. Here, this member of a structure can be a variable or an array or a structure also, or an union, which we're going to learn in the upcoming tutorials. And the next thing that I want to teach you is, when we define a structure globally, outside all the functions, the structure is available to all the functions in our program. So if you define this structure inside this main function, then you guys can access the structure only inside that function, the local scope and the global scope. Okay, the next thing is how to declare the variables of this structure student. So we can declare the variables of this structure student in two ways. The one way is we can write the variable name after this closing curly brace. For example, let's say I want to store the information of the student Anil. Now this Anil is a variable, and if you want to create another variable, let's say Rashmit, this Rashmit and Anil are the variables of this struct student. So this is one way of declaring the structure variables. Another way is similar to the way we declare the variables. For example, so here we need to refer the structure name. So when we define a structure, that name of the structure will become a user defined data type. So you guys can use that data type and declare variables. So here we're going to write the student, which is the structure name, and then the variable names as we are declaring for integer or character variables. Let's say this time Rahul and Ajay. So now we have four variables of this structure student, and two of them are global variables, because they are declared outside all the functions, and two of them are local because they are declared inside a function. The next thing is how to assign the values to this structure variables. So we can assign the values to the structure variables when we declare them like this way. So what we guys need to do is we guys need to do the assignment operator, and then between these curly braces we need to write the values for the respected structure members. So here first we have the roll number and then we have the sex. So here let's say the roll number is going to be 1111 and the sex is going to be male, M. So this is one way of assigning the values to the structure members. Another way includes the dot operator. A dot operator in structure is used to access the structure members. So here if we wanted to access the structure member roll number, then we guys need to write the structure variable name. Let's say Rahul, then we need to use the dot operator, dot, then we need to specify this member name, roll number, then the assignment operator equal to, let's say, a value of 2222, and again I'm going to use Rahul dot sex equal to M. So I'm going to copy this one, I'm going to paste it 2 more times, and I'm going to change this one to Anil and Rashmit. Let me align that before. Okay. And also it's going to be Rashmit. Okay, now we have 4 structure variables. The next thing is accessing the value stored in the structure variables or the members of the structure variables. For that also we're going to use the dot operator. So I'm going to use cout and I'm going to write the structure variable name. Let's say we want to access the members of the structure variable Anil. So I'm going to write Anil dot then the structure member name. So it's going to be roll number if you guys want to access the roll number, and let me add the end line, and again Anil dot sex. Alright, now we have defined a structure, we have declared the variables of a structure, we have assigned values to the structure members, and also we have accessed the values from the structure members. So I'm going to save this, I'm going to build and run this. So now you guys can see 2222. Okay, I didn't change the values, that's why you got 2222 and the sex is M. And just for the demonstration I'm going to change this one to 8888 and build and run this. You guys can see 8888. Alright, so a structure is a collection of different variables of different data types, and the structure allows us to group different information under one name. To define a structure we're going to use the keyword struct, and to access the members of a structure variable we're going to use the variable name, structure variable name, then the dot operator, and then the member of the structure. So this is it guys, this is about the basics on structures. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any suggestion please tell us, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.